And joining us now in studio is Yehuda Shaffer, former Deputy State Attorney in the Financial Crimes Unit of the Israel's Justice Ministry. Thanks for coming back, Yehuda.
Good evening.
Now, Yehuda, I've only been in the country for 35 years, and I have to admit, I've never heard of a parliamentary commission of inquiry into conflict of interest among sitting judges. What exactly are we talking about here?
Well, I'll give you some background. Parliamentary inquiries is a procedure which exists. It's not very effective, and it cannot subpoena people who are not public servants. I'm not even sure they can subpoena judges, actually.
So it's not like a congressional committee?
No, it's not like we do have a form of a general inquiry headed by a Supreme Court judge, and then they do have the power to subpoena. But a parliamentary inquiry is a very political act. It has been used for various topics in history. What is on the table now is a series of press reports that have been coming out in the last few weeks, claiming that there's potential conflict of interest among the Supreme Court judges presiding over cases. The truth of the matter is, there's probably nothing there. The issue is that the judges, of course, bear responsibility for their own not to be in conflict of interest, and to do this, they publicized lists of parties which they do not want to cases of which they don't want to be hearing, so as to make the setting of cases in the Supreme Court more efficient. What happened was that on several occasions the reporters found out that judges did sit in cases that of parties which but no actual conflict of interest was in there. This was the judges were over careful and but it doesn't matter. In normal days this would all be found out. Complaints can be made to there's an ombudsman for judges, and complaints could be made to the ombudsman and found out that I don't think there's any real conflict of interest in any specific case, but it looks bad. And in normal days, maybe there would be a room for a discussion in Parliament about this.
Well, Alda, before you go on normal days, let's say it's a surprising coincidence that this should just be proposed, as some of those Supreme Court judges will be judging Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's corruption trial.
Absolutely. So what I'm saying is that I think there was a problem in the Supreme Court with the way they were publicizing these potential conflict of interest lists, which are not actual conflict of interest, but there's something needs to be fixed there. And in normal days, this could be a legitimate discussion in Parliament. But now, there's no doubt, the context now is trying to delegitimize the judiciary, to prepare public opinion for the beginning of Netanyahu's trial in 10 days. There's another hearing in which it's a technical hearing, but it's a hearing where dates will be set for the actual hearing of the case. Netanyahu and his followers see this coming, and there's big pressure to delegitimize the judiciary. This is very sad. It's a very sad consequence of this whole judicial political conflict that we're in, because this is not the way it should be. Netanyahu should be raising above this, is my criticism. And if he can claim to be innocent, he can go on trial and claim to be innocent and have his trial. But the attempts to delegitimize the whole judiciary and to put so much emphasis on the Supreme Court, people listening are getting the impression the Supreme Court is constantly in conflict of interest, etc., etc. No, this was very technical. This was a very technical issue, very technical, small technical issues that happened there. I think it's a relevant topic that should be.
Right, it's a real issue, but maybe
I think it's a real issue, and I think the rules of how the Supreme Court judges decide on their conflict of interest should be improved, definitely, and it's even a good topic for parliamentary discussion in normal days. And of course, personal complaints can be made, as I explained, but in the context of the general context
certainly looks a little.
It's not only looks; it's very bad, and
slightly fishy.
And it's an attempt to diminish the public trust in the judiciary, which is very very bad.
All right, Yehuda Shaffer, thank you for joining us on the rundown. Well.